And we are live. Welcome back. Man, a huge hiatus for us because in my new place, getting up there. So we had a huge hiatus. We had a huge break over the summer, and might as well say summer because tomorrow's the first day of fall.
Yep.
So we had a huge break over the summer, and by godly, we missed a lot. I think we should do a song we didn't start the fire. What we missed. Hey, Billy Joel,
Gosh, there was
making these songs. But yeah, so much to
there was
talk
so
about. But
much. Yeah, yeah. There
but
was there was quite a bit.
we're gonna do some current topics, and with the current topics, let's just get right into it. Brett Kavanaugh and that whole mess that came out a couple of weeks ago, where he allegedly groped a girl during high school. So what, 30 some years ago when this
Yeah.
thing happened. So apparently Diane Feinstein or
Oh, I can't
Frankenstein, whatever
stand
you want to
her. I
call her.
cannot stand her.
I
I
cannot
have a
stand
word
her
for
at
her.
all.
I'm not going to say that word.
It's Samantha Bee said that word. We won't get to her as well. I
Uh-huh.
think I think that's the word you're thinking of. But so Diane Feinstein or Count Dracula, what do you want to call her? Because she's a poster child of term
Term
limits for
limits.
Congress.
Yes.
She's a poster child for that. So she had an anonymous letter back during July, and just magically appeared weeks before the confirmation hearing that Brett Kavanaugh groped Christina Ford, who is now a liberal professor in California. That tells you much about her right there.
Uh,
Um, Surprisingly, good old Gloria Allred is not representing her. I'm
oh,
shocked
that's
at that.
another. That's another. Yeah.
I'm shocked. I'm shocked that she isn't representing her, but some other lawyer is. But
uh,
apparently, first off, that's like me in kindergarten pulling a girl's pigtails,
yeah.
because it's like it's in high school, and the friend that was at that party actually went back on her word and said that she could not confirm if he was there at the party or not. And another thing is that he was allegedly drunk. So if he was at that party and if he did grope her and if he was drunk, then yeah, he probably wouldn't remember it. So I mean, this is just um, reaching the bottom of the barrel for this. And they're just trying to do some way to distract and obstruct the confirmation process. That's all this thing is.
It's fake news. That's all it is.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
that's
agree.
what it is. Oh, and by the way, I want to clarify the definition of news. I know the leftists like to say that that's only news that President Trump doesn't like. No, no. If you watch closely, if you watch like CNN, especially CNN, they are the
Mm-hmm.
purveyors of fake news
Mm-hmm.
because it's freaking fake news.
Yeah.
You know, they stage news stories.
Mm-hmm.
They
Well,
now
big example would be that whole Lanny Davis accusation, where he said that Michael Cohen knew that Trump was in that lawyer meeting with the Russians, and
hmm
that turned out to be fake news. But CNN reported it anyway, and they haven't even retracted that story.
oh, surprise, surprise there. But yeah, it's just getting crazy. I mean, there's this whole thing with Brett Kavanaugh. I mean, the Democrats are doing their best to block him from
Yeah.
being confirmed, but see, they know they don't have the votes.
Mm-hmm.
They do not have the
Yeah.
votes
Because
to
if
block
it
it.
comes out to a tie, if it comes out to a tie, then Pence can come in and break that tie. Pence is the
Yes,
tiebreaker.
right. The vice president. Yeah, because that's one of the roles that he can take and play
Mm-hmm.
is
Yeah.
that he can break a tie. I mean, Democrats did it. All administrations have had that happen where they've had the vice
Mm-hmm.
president break a tie.
Mm-hmm.
Democrats do not have the votes. I
No.
guess they believe. Obviously, they believe that Kavanaugh can be stopped. Which no, he can't.
I like to see on what planet he can be stopped on. I mean,
Hmm.
they know he's going to get confirmed anyway. They're trying to drag this out until after midterms, where they think there's going to be a big blue wave coming. But we'll get into the big blue wave versus the red wave
Well,
because this is why we. This is go
he
ahead.
was supposed to be confirmed yesterday, but because of this
Yeah.
old bull crap from this Ford woman,
Mm-hmm.
they said she might testify on this Monday. Although she said she has said she won't testify, but
Yeah. And it came out
because
that Chuck Grassley. They said that Chuck. It came out that Chuck Grassley said that if she doesn't testify on Monday, we're going to go on ahead with the confirmation vote.
good, they need to. And Chuck Grassley, about time he had some cojones.
Mm-hmm.
By the time the Republicans had some cojones, I tell you.
Yeah,
It's you guys need to get some cojones.
absolutely. I mean, the thing is that with the Republican side and the Democrat side, they're all the same. However, it's like wrestling. You know,
Yeah.
behind the curtain, you know, they're drinking beer and hugging and kissing and everything. But in front of the curtain, you know, that's when the kayfabe comes in. They got to pretend they're against each other. But with the Republican side, they're spineless. They're spineless
Yeah.
people. There's spineless people in that administration and
Yeah,
in the
they
House.
are.
And we need, and, you know, and unfortunately, you know, we have to keep the House and we got to vote for these people, you know, because that's the main reason why we're bringing not mainstream back is because of the whole midterms that's coming up that we need
Yep,
to
definitely.
win. That we need to win.
I'll just say this. I don't believe that Kavanaugh did anything 30 years ago. I mean, this woman's testimony is so contradictory.
Mm-hmm.
On the one hand, she says she doesn't remember all that happening, but she says, but Kavanaugh was there, and it must have
Yeah,
happened.
yeah,
Like, yeah, you just outed yourself. You just outed yourself as a liar.
mm-hmm.
You say Kavanaugh was there and this supposedly happened.
Mm-hmm.
No, that dog will not hunt. I'm sorry to say.
Yeah. And then we got the media that's latching onto this because that's what the media does, and they say, "Oh, he raped her," and I'm like, "Okay, if he did grope her, groping isn't raping. Even though groping is wrong, it's nowhere near as bad as rape. You can't compare the two."
Yeah, men grope women all the time. It's not. I mean, it may not be necessarily ethical or moral, but it's not illegal to grope someone
Yeah.
unless they decide they're going to press charges. Say, oh wait,
Hmm.
yeah, we're going to
Yeah.
press charges against this person because if the woman decides to press charges for groping, then that's one thing. But generally, it's not illegal to grope.
Yeah. And then we got this whole story that came out with Keith Ellison, and his you
And beating
probably
up
heard
his
of.
girlfriend,
Yeah,
yeah.
beating up his and then we're expect to be like, oh well, he's a Democrat and he's one of them, so he gets a free pass. No, he does not.
Nope.
He needs to own up to the fact to it, and he needs to do what Al Frankenstein did, which is resign. Keith Ellison needs
Uh-huh.
to resign because with Keith Ellison's accuser, there's 911 calls, there's police reports, there's hospital reports backing this up
Mm-hmm.
that he beat her and that he emotionally damaged her as well. And then we got the her son actually saying that he did that as well. And he's just flying on the radar, having nothing wrong, having no consequences for him because he's a lefty. He's one of the big lefties. He's against Trump because he gets a free pass. No,
Yep.
that's bullshit.
Yeah, yeah, it is. That's just BS. No, he should not get a free pass, and he will not get a free pass. We shall
Yeah,
not allow this.
yeah,
We as conservatives, not just as conservatives, but as Americans, we will not allow
yeah.
this.
And I gotta say, it doesn't matter which party you are. All right, everybody should be treated the same.
Yep. And I mean, he I mean, if it had been, listen, if it had been a Republican that did this, that beat his girlfriend, I would still be like, yeah,
Yeah.
no,
Hmm.
that
Yeah,
dog will not. Yeah,
could you imagine if someone came out with the same evidence and the same story to Donald Trump? They would be having a big field day with this. But
yes,
because it's Keith Ellison, he's a lefty, he's a Democrat, he gets the free pass like everyone
yeah,
else that's
yeah.
on their side.
It's like, no, he's not getting a free pass. I'm not going to
Yeah,
give him a
absolutely
free
not.
pass.
No.
No.
And then speaking of, stuff that happened 30 some years ago, this thing came out with Cory Booker, oh, Spartacus, I'm Spartacus.
Uh huh.
This thing came out with Cory Booker that he wrote a newspaper article in his school newspaper about him groping some woman. I'm like, well, does he get a free pass too? Well, of course, because he's a Democrat, he's a leftist. He's a big
Yeah.
lefty. He gets a free pass. But Brett Kavanaugh, same accusations. He
Oh
doesn't get a
yeah.
free pass. But I think
No.
the American people is seeing, and I hope I'm right, and I hope I'm glad with this, that the American people is seeing through this. And they're like, wait a minute. Brett Kavanaugh doesn't get a free pass, but Booker does. That doesn't make
Yeah.
any sense. I hope the American people are seeing this, and I think they are, and I think they are, and I think they're slowly seeing this, that there is a double standard between conservatives and leftists and liberals and whatever you want to call them.
Well, Corey, he decided he was going to jeopardize his senatorial career. But the problem was those private papers were already released.
Yeah, they were already planning on being released, and he was like, "I'm Spartacus. We're going to have to release these papers.
Well, yeah, he
The
was
American
gonna
people deserve to know what these in these papers."
he was
It's like,
going to do it illegally, and it's like he says, even knowing full well what the punishment would be. That's what he was saying. He was just like,
here's the thing: he already knew those papers were going to be released. That's why he released them. He knew he wasn't going to be in trouble. He knew
yeah,
that all along. That was another fake news story. Boom, right there, another fake news story they covered.
yeah. I mean, he already knew what he was. He knew what he was doing.
Yeah.
He's a jackass. He's just an absolute jackass.
I completely agree. And geez, I got a feeling he's going to run in 2020. It's going to be either a laughing stock or we're going to have to play some taps if he wins. I highly doubt that.
I don't see. Here's the thing: it's very rare for an incumbent to be defeated,
Mm-hmm.
and Trump is an incumbent, so
Mm-hmm.
it would have to be a miraculous thing for somebody to beat Trump.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, we got we still got another year ahead of us, and anything can happen between now and 2020, the
Yeah.
start of the whole campaign season.
Yep.
And go ahead.
I was gonna say almost 2 years.
Hmm.
It is 2 years till the next till the presidential election,
Yeah.
and it's actually 6 weeks until the midterms. It's 6.5 weeks till
Yeah.
midterms.
A great
Yeah.
segue too. Let's talk about the midterms and what's ahead because
Yeah.
we've posted on our WordPress page MAGA, Make America Great Again endorsements, final endorsements, and the list is continuing to grow each day, each week. Dan Bill, he's the one that's putting this list together, and he's on our side. Follow him at Real Dan Build,
Cool.
BEL. He's putting this list together, and I'm just posting it on our WordPress. So take a look at the list. And when the upcoming weeks, I'll name off some people on that list of MAGA candidates, Make America Great Again candidates, and endorsements. This is the final round because, like you said, in 6 weeks is election day, election season is
Mm-hmm.
upon us,
It
and
is.
according to the mainstream media and according to the left, there's going to be a huge blue wave coming, going to crush this red wave because people hate Trump. They hate that he's making America great again. They hate that he's protecting our borders and cutting taxes. They hate all those good things that's supposed to be bad about him. They hate all that. So people's gonna re-vote against Trump and make the Democrats involved and make that blue wave come so they can impeach his ass because he's doing a horrible job as president. I mean, if you
Well,
guys
but
listen to media, the world is on fire because of Trump.
uh-huh.
That's what the media is. But go
But
ahead.
I mean, but so far, what we've seen in a lot of these special elections, we have seen Republicans winning and winning big.
Yeah. Now there has been some few instances of some blue trickling, but mostly is the red wave that's coming.
Mm-hmm.
And it's some interesting. Go ahead if you need to say
Although
something. I
we
don't
have
wrap this up.
seen we have seen a few of these admittedly socialist candidates rising, such as
Oh
Ocasio
yeah.
Cortez, or as I call her, Occasional Cortex.
Yeah. I don't know how. Well, she is a New Yorker, so that's how she won. We got that black dude in Florida,
Yeah,
Gilliam.
him too. Yeah,
Yeah,
right. He's running for
Gilliam. I don't.
governor
Yeah, I don't see him winning
against Ron
because
DeSantis. Yeah, Ron DeSantis is running against
yeah,
him
yeah.
down in
I think
Florida.
yeah. I don't see Gilliam winning.
Yeah.
But this blue wave that's supposed to happen. I mean, there was a report. Now I know it's small, but it gives an insight of how things is changing. A Hispanic Republican captures a stunning victory in a district that's held by Democrats for 139 years, and this
Mm.
was in Texas. Um, Pete Flores won against Pete Gallio. He
Hmm.
won in a special election. The ending total was 53% to 47%. So this gives a great insight of what's yet to come.
Yep.
Fun fact is that Hillary Clinton won that district by 12% in 2016. So we
Sure.
saw. It seems like it's flipped. It looks like it's flipped.
Hmm.
And plus, we got to take into
Yep.
consideration the moderate Democrats that doesn't support the leftist culture of because there's for me there's two different types of Democrats. There's the mainstream Democrats, which is socialism galore, and then we got the moderate Democrats, which is more like Trump. However, they still vote Democrat for some reason. But we
Hmm.
see this movement that is happening called the hashtag walk away movement. That's walking away from the Democrats, from the leftists, because in these small towns, these rural towns, that even though those Democrats more aligned with Trump, they still have to technically vote for, the Pelosi mainstream Democrats,
Yeah, yeah.
where,
Speaking of crazy eyes, have you seen Alexandria
oh,
Ocasio-Cortez?
geez, that's like Nancy
Sheesh.
Pelosi Jr.
Yes, you've seen her. That interview she had with Chris Cuomo. Good night.
Oh man, she was like a deer in headlights,
Her eyes bugging out of her head. It's like,
And what's with these leftists and the bulging eyes? I mean, you got Adam Schiff, you got Nancy Pelosi, you got Alex Cortez, you got Maxine Waters, and her. I
oh
mean, it's
Lord.
like we'll get into some Maxine news because she's out of it. They need to sedate her in the crazy house.
They do. But yeah, I mean, again, the Democrats. I mean, the Republicans are doing pretty well in the later. Holla. The Republicans are doing very well in the special elections that have been held.
Yeah.
And hopefully that trend will continue through the midterms. Like I say, 6.5 more weeks. And
but we have to sound the red alarm. I mean, there could be massive voter fraud going on. There could be
oh yes,
fixing the votes and hacking the elections. And because the deep state, the establishment, they're all not quite out yet. They're still there. They're still there. We haven't defeated them yet. They're still there. I mean, anything can happen because they're so desperate to get rid of Trump. So they'll do it by any means necessary, which is voter fraud, hacking the vote machines. Something that the Russians supposed to do, but that whole mess has been kind of fizzled out a little bit.
Yep, that's true. It's I can only hope that this gets resolved soon. But like I said, the midterms are coming up, and I know that the Democrats really want. I mean, they're really stepping it up. I mean, even in Minnesota, there's a congressional hopeful who is trying to portray his candidate as being like Bigfoot. It's like
oh, I seen that. The dude wrote like Bigfoot porn books.
No, this is a different one. This is in Minnesota.
Because I know there was another one where the guy wrote Bigfoot erotica books, and the left is attaching themselves to that. I think it's a Virginia race.
Yeah, that too. Yeah, there's that, and then there's also a congressional hopeful in Minnesota, a Democrat, asking, trying to compare his Republican candidate to Bigfoot, saying, well, Bigfoot is nowhere to be found, or it's like, we can't find Bigfoot. We also can't find this Republican. Where is he? So,
oh my God, jeez. I mean,
yeah.
have you seen over the summer the dude that maced himself?
Do what?
He maced himself.
Okay.
Yeah, the dude. Yeah, he's running on the anti-gun bandwagon. So he decided, you know what, we need to put mace inside these schools to mace the shooters. And so he goes on his YouTube and made a video of him getting maced. That was so freaking hilarious.
It's like, are you just asking to make yourself blind or something? Is that what you're doing?
Yes. Oh, and then there was something came out recently. I think a couple of weeks ago. This professor, he shot himself in the arm with a .22 caliber gun to protest Trump.
Idiot.
Oh my God, that was great. I laughed so hard. It was like, how stupid can these people be? I
They're
hate
they're
Trump.
they're, be,
I'm going to shoot myself because I hate that bastard so much.
they're becoming unhinged big
Oh my,
time.
yeah, these people are unhinged. And can you imagine what would happen after the election and when the big red wave comes crashing in of how unhinged they're going to be?
Oh yeah, speaking of unhinged, that's another thing we're going to talk about is Omarosa.
Yes, that'd be good.
Let's
That's a
not
good segue. Let's
let's not
segue
forget
into that.
about Omarosa and her claims. Oh, and Tom Arnold. Remember, Tom
Tom
Arnold
Arnold.
has a
He's got his
show
new
on.
show.
Yeah, searching for the Trump tapes or something like that. Just
And so all this is going to tie in together. So Omarosa got relieved of her White House duties, and she didn't take that very quite well. So now she turned her back on Trump and released some tapes that she did illegally, which I hope that they press charges on her. But Omarosa, big, huge Trump supporter, she supported him because really good friends with Trump, really good friends with Trump. And now because, she got fired and she's trying to make a name of herself because, after she got fired and, nobody wants to hear from her anymore, she decides to come out and say that Trump is a racist and he said the N word and there's tapes being played, there's tapes on this. And it's like, okay, first off, I Omarosa, we talked about this when she was fired from the White House. A couple of, I think it was like what, last year or earlier this year, and we talked about it.
mm-hmm.
We was like, okay, maybe it was an amicable firing. Trump said, well, we don't need your position anymore, and relieved her of her duties and all that. And she apparently, something, she got unhinged somewhere and decided to turn her back on him. And I don't know why, because he's the one that gave her the opportunity to be not only in the White House, but like a job opportunity from The Apprentice. Even though she got fired from The Apprentice, he kept in contact with her and led her along the way and help her with some good opportunities. And it's like, why would you do this? And the only thing is the 15 minutes of fame and the money she's making. But her book, came out Unhinged, and I think it was a unwhelming book, and I don't think it made the top 10 list of the New York Times bestsellers. But yeah, it's like, yeah, I don't like her at all. I never did like her.
It'll wind up in the $1.50 bin before too long.
Yeah, probably. I wouldn't be surprised.
But you know, it's it's just getting crazy. Things are just getting crazy now. I mean, we have Omarosa writing a book claiming, "Oh yeah, now we have racism from the president," and then there's none of the tapes. I think she released like one or two tapes. Neither
Yeah,
one of them had any indication whatsoever that he
yeah.
was using the N word.
Hmm.
She was
And
going
then,
to try and get tapes from Mark Burnett, the guy who produced The Apprentice,
hmm yeah. So this
and
this is when Tom Arnold comes into play, and he's got a new show out called, he's searching for the tapes. He's
uh,
winding up empty-handed. Here's the thing, and I think we've said this before. If we haven't, I'll say it again. That if there was tapes of Trump saying the N-word, they would have been played during the election. So like a week before,
mhm.
the election, they would have
Oh
been
yeah.
played just like the pussy tape. They would have played that constantly on the media, hammering it in. You know,
Well, the pussy tape was played constantly. That's the thing.
but no, I'm talking about if there was
We
the N-word tape. The N-word tape. If
well,
they
yeah,
if
that's true
Yeah,
too.
they would
Yeah,
have came out already. They would have already came out, just like the whole
yeah.
PP tape. If that thing existed, it would have been out. TMZ would have had a copy by now.
Well,
Both the
speaking
N-word
of
tape
speaking of
and the
the
PP
the
tape.
piss dossier, I mean, we're going to definitely talk about John McCain also and his passing.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
Yeah, we'll
but
get into that.
yeah, Tom Arnold, he says, I'm willing to die for this. It's like, yeah, dude.
Dude, he's gonna die on a coke binge anyway. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
He is, I think he's still doing drugs. It won't surprise me. That
He's
dude's
just
on.
a jackass.
No, yeah, the best thing
His
that
greatest.
Roseanne has ever done is to dump Tom Arnold.
Yeah. It's like
That's the best.
he's just a jackass. I mean,
Yeah,
it's like you're not gonna find these tapes, Tom, because they don't exist.
yeah. He's reaching for the bottom of the barrel. He's trying to stay relevant. Tom Arnold hasn't been relevant ever since he divorced Roseanne. Ever since Roseanne left him, or however it became, he hasn't been relevant since.
Nope. So he figures, let's see, he can get into the leftist good graces, of course, by trying to ruin President Trump and taking him down. He's claiming that Mark Burnett choked him.
Yeah, and what's funny is that the LPD, LAPD,
LAPD.
yeah, they said there was no report of that filed.
Uh huh. Well, there you go.
Yeah, they said
That
no
means
report was filed. So
that means no witnesses saw Mark Burnett trying to choke him. There
I think
was
what happened was that Tom Arnold was high on cocaine, and he thought that Mark Burnett kicked his ass. It was just a hallucination, Tom. Don't
well,
worry.
now witnesses do say that they got into a
No,
scuffle.
I say, yeah, I wouldn't surprise me, but I don't think Tom Arnold and Mark Burnett got into a really physical altercation of him being choked out. I
Right.
think
Yeah. I mean,
they said that Tom Arnold grabbed his wife, and bruised her hand a little bit, but that was about it. But nothing to nowhere near what Tom Arnold described. You lost your sound, Henry. You lost your sound.
down.
There we go.
I don't know what happened. No, Mark Burnett.
You lost your sound again. All right, there we go.
Mark Burnett was married to Roma Downey, who was on Touched by an Angel. She was the main character on that show.
Yeah, and I think Mark Brunette is like a super Christian. So it's like, it's like really, yeah, really hard to fetch to think that Mark Brunette would have done something like that.
Right. Yeah. And if there was a scuffle, I don't think Mark Burnett started the scuffle.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
No.
And you know what? I'm sure they was shooting for Tom Arnold's show, and
Hmm.
that's going to be on his show.
I mean, he's searching in vain for that smoking gun against Trump.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Whereas Roseanne is very much very pro-Trump. And speaking of which, why don't we get into that big news
Yeah,
story?
Roseanne. Yeah, so I think we discussed this back when it happened, and it happened earlier this year that Roseanne, did a, sort of a, not kind of an insensitive tweet about Valerie Jarrett and looking like an ape from Planet of the Apes and some Muslim, combining the two, and she got fired from the show because of that. Um, However,
Well, personally, I'm just going to say I don't think it was insensitive at all. I mean,
yeah, I don't think it wasn't. I don't
to
think.
to to make a comparison, I mean, number one, who knew that she was Iran? Who knew that she was black? I thought she was Iranian,
Yeah, yeah,
referring to Valerie
I didn't
Jarrett.
know that either. I didn't know that either. I didn't know. I don't think no one knew what Valerie Jarrett's ethnicity was until Roseanne made that tweet.
Uh
I
huh.
mean, and Roseanne even said that she didn't know she was black, and
Mm-hmm.
she said that she would have never made the tweet if she did knew if she was black. So, it was like I don't think it was insensitive too. It was like a bad choice, bad choice, bad choice. It was a bad choice. Um, I think Roseanne should have never apologized. I think she should have stand by it. She could have said, "Well, it was a bad choice, but I'm going to move on." But Roseanne is not a racist, and between then and now, John Goodman came out and said that he knows Rosie, and Rosie's not a racist, Roseanne. And if I was
Yeah.
John Goodman, I think if I was John Goodman, I think I would have quit the show because he came. Because the reason why John Goodman came back was because of Roseanne. Because if it wasn't for Roseanne, John Goodman probably wouldn't have done the show. And I think
Yeah.
John Goodman, I think he should have quit the show. He could have been like, "Well, I don't want to get involved. I'm just going to quit the show and move on." Because I think John Goodman is a closet conservative. I could be wrong, but he's never talked about politics. Not that I'm aware of, but I think he's a closet
Right.
conservative, and he supports Roseanne.
Yep.
But
He
now there's going to
does.
be a new show called The Connors. It's going to be without Roseanne, and apparently they're going to kill off. So they're going to Charlie Sheen Roseanne, which is kill her off of a drug opioid overdose. That's just horrible right there. That's horrible. That is absolutely horrible. I'm not gonna watch it.
Nope.
I wouldn't be surprised if I can guarantee you that the ratings for the show is not going to be 27 million viewers like it was last year. It's going to be less than that.
Yeah. I think so. We really, of course, we really enjoyed
Yeah, I really enjoyed it.
the revival. I mean, it was great.
I did too. And I
But
think it's going to suck without Roseanne.
yeah, I think so. It's not going to be nearly as good without her.
Yeah.
Because for all intents and purposes, she was that show. I mean, let's
Yeah,
just be
that's the
honest
whole
about it.
show. Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, her name was in the title. It wasn't just the Connors; it was Roseanne. It was about her life and her way of living. It wasn't about the Connors as a whole. It was about Roseanne and her life and the way she was and all that. It was based on her stand-up routine. That's how the show started, was because of her stand-up routine back in the 80s.
Mm-hmm. That's very
But
true. And it's I don't know. This is it's not gonna do well. I don't think.
mhm. Yeah, I
I
would be
think it's
surprised. I'd be surprised if it did.
yeah. I would too. I just don't see it doing very well though.
hmm Yeah, and Roseanne, she's. I think what she needs to do is do a podcast. I think she needs to do a podcast or maybe do something on the internet with the show, whether it's a podcast, a webcast, something like this. Because
Yeah.
she was with Diamond and Silk with an interview. I missed that interview. I'm gonna go back and watch it. She did an interview with Diamond and Silk.
Yep.
And but I think she needs to. I think I would like to see her on Tim Allen's show, Last Man Standing. Make her like the
Yeah.
next door neighbor. Ever be the next door neighbor.
That would be interesting. Now, of course, that show was canceled by ABC,
Yeah, and then it was picked
but
up by Fox.
yeah, that premieres next Friday. Matter of fact.
Ooh, yeah, that's nice. So yeah, watch that instead of the Connors. Watch
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. But it's interesting, I actually did a video about the Roseanne thing, and I also did a video.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Oh
actually
yeah, great.
the video that I did was about Roseanne, but it was also about the Samantha Bee controversy. Let's get into that.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
over the summer, Samantha Bee, this is still relevant somehow. She has a show on TBS. And that's all I know. She
I don't
called
like her one
Ivanka.
bit.
Yeah, I don't like her either. She called. So she had with some. She was having some controversy, and she called Ivanka a feckless, and I quote, "cunt." And this is this was like happening alongside of the Roseanne controversy, and it's like you know Samantha Bee can call Ivanka a feckless cunt. However, Roseanne can't, make a joke. And they're both comedians.
Yeah.
They're both comedians. So one has and this is the double standard we was talking about earlier. One has privilege, the other doesn't. Sorry,
There you
you're
go.
not one of us. You can't have free speech. You can't, you can't do anything because you're not one of us. We're gonna have to ban you. And we'll get into the whole Alex Jones InfoWars as well because that was huge
Oh
with
yeah,
the
that
tech
too.
censorship.
Yep. But yeah, Samantha Bee. I mean, it was the huge double standard. I mean, yes, I realize that cable television is not quite as regulated as broadcast TV, but still.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I mean, she said this apparently, from what I understand, when she said this, it was uncensored on the air.
Yeah, it was uncensored.
And I mean, that is one of the words George Carlin had the 7 dirty words. That was one of the 7 dirty words you could not say on television.
Yeah.
By the way. So, but it seems like the FCC is really relaxing its rules quite a bit.
Yeah, on cable because our show that we watch, Better Call Saul, they dropped the F-bomb and that was uncensored.
Yeah.
And that was
That's
on
true.
cable TV. So
Yeah.
I think cable TV is slowly getting more relaxed in the censorship area, which I think that's fantastic. I mean, if they want to drop the F-bomb, I think they should be uncensored. I mean, it's freedom of speech.
I don't have an issue with it. I don't have a problem with it.
Yeah.
I mean, I really don't have a problem with Samantha Bee saying the C word. And even if it's about, Ivanka Trump.
Mm-hmm.
What's interesting is Ivanka is a leftist.
Mm-hmm.
She's very leftist.
Well, the reason she's Donald Trump's daughter. She's free game because she's just Donald Trump's daughter.
Yeah.
Because the left, the left eats their own. They eat their own. And
they do.
I wish Ivanka, would step back and reevaluate her values and come to the good side. Come to the good side. I like Ivanka. I like Ivanka. I think she'd be a good president if she, sticks to what her dad did and not do what she's been told to do.
Mm-hmm. But no, I mean, yeah, there was, but the thing is, there wasn't as much controversy raised over what she said as over what Roseanne said. I mean, again, you mentioned the double standard.
And then let's go ahead and talk about the old fart, Peter Fonda, and his tweet about 12-year-old Barron Trump that he should be locked in a cage with pedophiles. And you did a video with that.
Yes, I did. That was even more, to me, that was even more egregious than anything either Samantha Bee or Roseanne said.
Absolutely. I mean, absolutely. I completely agree.
And of course, we could also talk about Robert De Niro. He said, "Fuck Trump."
No, that's not even worse than what Peter Fonda said. And locked in a cage with freaking pedophiles. I mean, come on. And the bad part is that Twitter didn't ban him for that. They didn't suspended him for that. They kept his account up. His movie still came out. They didn't, didn't release his movie, but it still came out. I mean, again, double standards all the way.
Well, I mean, remember, Peter Fonda's sister is Jane Fonda, that bitch.
Oh, yeah.
That anti-American.
Either. Yeah.
She's very
anti-American. He was an Easy Rider. He was an Easy Rider. I mean, come on, dude. Oh, God. I can't. It's like I cannot stand these Hollywood snobs anymore. And it would be. I think this is a great transition into the news segment I called "Shit No One Cares About." The Emmys was Monday night, and I didn't watch the Emmys. I just saw clips of Mark Dice talking about it. And that's about it. And this was the lowest rated Emmy since 2014. It's like it's like the Hollywood elites don't care anymore. They know the ratings are low because of their political views. They just don't give a damn anymore.
Yeah.
And you know what? I don't give a damn about them. And I punted on I punted a tweet out and said that I'm not going to watch the Emmys of these Hollywood I forgot the word I pumped, but these Hollywood snobs stroking their ego for 5 hours, and that's what the Emmys are. Is it's like what George Carlin already says. It's the big party, and you guys are not invited. That's what the Emmys are. It's the big party
Yep.
that
Yep.
only the elites are invited for, and no one else.
There you go. Yep. And
And
I mean, he was, Carlin was right on with that. In my opinion, he was.
I'm gonna say the exact same thing when we talk about the John McCain funeral.
Yep.
And Aretha Franklin too, because that was very a little bit political. But with John McCain, he was in the Emmys in memorandum segment, and he had nothing to do with freaking Hollywood. John McCain was in memorandum. It's like,
Mm-hmm.
dude. I mean, is the American people so blind that Hollywood and the elite of the government are interconnected? They're together. They're in the same bed together. The Hollywood leftists and the leftists of Congress are in the same pot together.
Yep.
It doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure this out.
Very true. Very true. And I
I mean,
mean,
why else?
it's
Why else would these Hollywood celebrities donate to leftist causes and these leftist candidates in rural Michigan or in rural Alabama? I mean, they're all in the same pot together. But go
mm-hmm.
ahead.
I mean, well, you think about it. These awards shows anymore are nothing more than self-congratulatory leftist butt kissing
It's leftist
sessions.
propaganda. It's
Yeah,
propaganda.
it absolutely is. It's ridiculous. They, and they always come up with ways to bash this president.
Yeah.
They don't have an original thought in their heads whatsoever.
Mm-hmm.
They they are just absolutely uh, they really have no concept of what the hell they are really putting
Mm-hmm.
forth, and they have no
Yeah.
concept that Americans are going to reject it.
Mm-hmm.
Americans are going to look at this political BS at these award shows, and that's why the Americans are looking at it, and they're like, we don't want to watch this crap. We want to
Yeah.
watch. We want to watch an award show to see if our favorite actor or actress,
Mm-hmm.
gets an award or whatever. We don't want to hear some political crap.
Exactly. And that's what, the NFL is too. They watch these shows, the NFL, Emmys, Oscars, whatever, to get away from the political aspect that's, flushed in their lives, thrust down their throats every single day from the mainstream media. But then you have, these Hollywood celebrities going up there saying, reject Trump. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And then you have one celebrity up there that says, I don't believe in God, but if she's real, thank you. And then she
Mm-hmm.
not only she did an atheist, as an atheist, but she's a feminist atheist. Because she thinks God is a woman. It's like, good Lord, people. Oh man, you just want to point your hair out.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, I know. I mean, it's just not worth. I mean, it's just not worth it to watch these award shows anymore. I haven't watched an award show in a long time. I don't plan on watching anytime soon either.
I never really understood the appeal for award shows. I've never
Yeah.
really been interested in them, nor did I watch them in my life. I don't. First off, I don't care who is wearing what on the red carpet. All
Oh
right.
yeah.
All right. It's like they dedicate like 3 hours of, oh, this is the Gucci dress by Gucci. I'm like, who gives a crap? And then I don't care for the the 5 hours of handing out awards, and I don't care. It's like okay, for an instance, we're Better Call Saul and Breaking Bad fans. Yeah, it's good that Bob Odenkirk and Bryan Cranston got noticed because of their work on it. That's good, but I don't want to sit down and watch 5 hours of an award show and watch like 5 minutes of their acceptance speech, and where they think they only think of themselves and no one else. It's like I don't care about that, and I don't really see the appeal for people that watches stuff like that. I don't really see the appeal for that.
Yeah.
I don't understand
Exactly.
the appeal.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. I don't get it either. I just don't understand it. Maybe I'll never understand it. I don't think a lot of us ever will. We'll just kind of like,
Yeah, just like these people that they have to know what is going on in their favorite celebrity lives. I don't understand that. I don't give a crap what Justin Bieber did. I don't give a crap what Kim Kardashian. I don't care who Kim Kardashian's dating now. It's like that doesn't. I don't care. I don't care about these people.
yeah, there's all this celebrity worship. Yeah, I mean yeah, it's
And I
just
think, and I think, there's been that, celebrity worship period in the early 2000s that I've seen, like, ooh, just Tomcat, Tom Cruise and his old lady, Tomcat and Brangelina, I didn't care about that. I never have and I never
yeah.
will. But it seems like to me that there's this point in time that, where people, really worship their celebrities. It's slowly getting to the point that there's more people is like, going away from that people doesn't care anymore about those people. They don't, it's got to the point that nobody cares about what their celebrity is doing, you know? And I
Yeah.
think it's going to take some time for people to slowly, you know, de desensitize themselves from worshiping their favorite celebrity.
Absolutely. I agree. It's just, I mean, we're going to fawn over these celebrities because they're so wonderful. Well, what? They're just people, just like us. They put their pants
Yeah,
on one leg at a time.
exactly. But I don't know about that. They probably have people hired to put their pants on for them.
Probably.
They probably don't even know how to tie their own shoes. Oh, I'll let the maid do that. They can tie my shoes for me. And that's
Uh,
and that's why people hate celebrities. They're arrogant assholes who have everything done for them. They don't do anything for themselves. They don't work for themselves. They don't know what it's like to really get hands-on work. And that's what people is like doing away from that.
hmm
They're slowly backing away from that. I mean, yeah, you can read lines and be a good actor, but what's that really going to get you in life? It's just going to get you a crap ton of money and problems along the way that people for some reason cares about. Charlie Sheen's coke binge. I mean, come on, I don't care about that. If he wants to snort coke off a hooker's butt, then let him. I don't care. Don't broadcast it on my freaking TV.
Yeah.
You got all these shows like ET and Hollywood Insider, the Inside Edition, and TMZ. It's like people still watch that. I'm like, who cares? I don't watch it.
Yeah. Yeah.
You
That's
know, the only
true.
thing, the only thing I do on TMZ is if there was like celebrity death or something, and I want to find out who died or how they died. You know,
hmm
that's the only thing I looked up. Like
Yep.
Burt Reynolds, passed away a few weeks
Yeah.
ago.
That I love Burt Reynolds. He was great.
Yeah. And I think he's another. I think he was another closet conservative as well.
I think so. Yeah. I think he was. He was great. Loved Burt.
Hmm. And
All
speaking
right.
of
Let's.
Hollywood, speaking of Hollywood, real quick.
Yeah.
So the Hollywood Walk of Fame pulled up Trump's star. his star on the Walk of Fame because of he's insensitive towards women and he's a racist. And I'm like, okay, what about Bill Cosby? Does the same go for Bill Cosby? No, his star is still there. Does the same go for Louis C.K.? Nah, his star is still there. Does the same go for absolutely not because their stars are still there. And if you want to make it about his treatment toward women, then you better take a jackhammer to all the stars on that Walk of Fame because I'm sure all those celebrities on that Walk of Fame mistreated women, beat women before in their lives. Especially some of the old Hollywood people, like Clark Gable and all them. I'm sure their treatment towards women wasn't up to par as they said today.
Yeah.
So you
Well,
better take a
now,
jackhammer to all that.
I mean, someone destroyed the star.
Yeah, they took a pickaxe to it. So what they did is what they did is at the Walk of Fame tore up Trump star permanently, so that they wouldn't
Oh
take
yeah.
a pickaxe or whatever to it.
Well, the thing is, I mean, why would they? Why would they just take it up, and why don't they just repair it and put it back?
Yeah, they did that, but they said that because they don't want to repair it anymore, they took it up. And plus, they also said because Trump's, he's a racist and he doesn't deserve the star and all that nonsense, and that he
Well,
and
that's Hollywood then. That's Hollywood
yeah,
for you. Ridiculous.
yeah,
Absolutely ridiculous. Just it's about the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
hmm
It's like, hello, morons! You're believing fake news about this president.
yeah.
He is not a misogynist or racist or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, here's again, if he was all those things, then there would have been so many stories of him in the past that would have come out by now. And
Mm-hmm.
nothing's, there's nothing there. He probably slept around and cheated on his wives, but, who cares about that? I don't care about that. That's more of that whole celebrity gobbledygook that's been crammed down our throats. Who cares about what Trump did in his personal life? I don't care. Yeah, maybe it might be unethical, but it's his business. It's not our business. We
Mm-hmm.
didn't vote it for the Pope. And speaking of the Pope, we'll definitely get into the whole Catholic Church uh, stuff in a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
That's big. That's big. But no
Yep,
one,
it
I don't,
is.
no one cares about And we'll talk about. And speaking of, and let's get into Stormy Daniels too, because this is related to all that. No one, if he cheated on Melania with Stormy Daniels, I don't care. And most of the American people can tell you that. I don't care. We don't
Mm-hmm.
care. No one cares. Yeah, it might be wrong. Yeah, um, I wouldn't have done it if it was me. But it's his life. It's his business. And I'm sure if Melania knew, I'm sure they probably worked things out.
Well, I mean, yeah, that's the thing. It doesn't really. It doesn't. We didn't elect a pope, like you said. I mean, it's true.
Mhm.
We didn't. We elected a
But
president.
I gotta say, Trump would be a hell of a lot better pope than Pope Francis.
Oh, I can't stand Pope Francis. He's a lefty piece of shit.
Oh, yeah, there's something about that pope I just can't put my finger on. But go ahead.
He's he is too much. He is too much of a SJW Pope, social
Yeah.
justice warrior. Yeah. But anyway, we were talking about Hollywood. Let's segue something that is related to Hollywood, the NFL,
hmm
and the whole controversy of it. Well, more especially with Colin Kaepernick, as I call him.
Yeah. So he got a deal with Nike,
Yeah.
and I gotta say, Nike did a mistake because apparently Nike stocks are down, and people have been burning their shoes and their clothes. They're rechecking Nike because they
Uh
put the communist front page of on Nike. and it's hurting Nike. It's hurting Nike, which boycott Nike. Hashtag boycott Nike.
Well,
Yeah.
not only is Colin Kaepernick in that ad, also Linda Sarsour is in
Oh,
the ad.
seriously? Oh my God.
Yes, yes, she
And I'm
is.
sure Serena Williams is there too.
No, Serena's not. I think they show Serena briefly in the ad, but she's not a major part of the ad. So,
Uh,
but we have the deal where believe in something even if it means you have to sacrifice everything. It's like well,
he
Colin,
sacrificed nothing.
yeah,
He's a
it,
multi-millionaire football player who sacrificed nothing.
it's like you're not oppressed.
No,
You're not going through anything near what your ancestors went through.
exactly, exactly.
And yeah, I mean, just sit down. It's like Colin, sit down, shut the hell up, play football.
He
You
can't play
know,
football. He's out of a job. No one will hire him. The only
well,
people that
he
hire him is
he
Nike.
he had like one good year, and then that was it. I mean, he just basically him being out of the NFL. It doesn't even have anything to do with him kneeling.
Yeah,
Him not being on the team has nothing to do with him kneeling. It's the fact that he sucked.
yeah.
He had one good year.
Hmm.
But after that, his skills went downhill.
Yeah.
If he were, let's say, the second coming of Joe Montana, I could see it.
Hmm.
But he's not.
Yeah.
So to say that, oh, he's being oppressed. No, he's not being oppressed.
No. And then I like how they try to, switch it and say, oh, he's not protesting the flag. He's not protesting the soldiers. He's protesting the injustice. And I'm like, no, he's not.
Mm-hmm.
And he's protesting Trump. That's that whole kneeling. That's the whole thing about the kneeling. That was the start point was Trump. It's Trump. They're protesting
Yeah.
Trump. That's the reason. It didn't have nothing to do with
Yeah.
cops or anything. When he put those little socks on with the pigs and they're in cop uniforms.
Uh-huh.
Go ahead.
And the NFL, their policy is, well, if you don't like the anthem, don't come out of the dressing room,
Mm-hmm.
or don't come out of the locker room. Problem was, there were a couple of Miami Dolphins that were doing that. They came out of the locker room and they decided they were going to kneel.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, the coach of the Miami Dolphins, he's a big time lefty, so he's like, well, let them do it.
Yeah.
But I mean, if the NFL had any guts at all, they would have suspended those players.
Yeah. I mean,
for at least a game, for at least one or two games.
Mm-hmm.
And suspend them without pay. That's what I would do. Suspend them without pay. Make sure they don't get paid, because they don't deserve to get paid if they're just going to. Well, we're protesting. No, you're being morons.
Mm-hmm.
Plus, you're protesting something. You're protesting a lie.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's that. Yeah, I agree with you. That whole kneeling for the flag and for the anthem is based on a lie. Based on a lie, and I completely agree. And it's gotten to the point where people are seeing through this. People are rejecting the NFL. I mean, you have a couple of weeks, and the NFL season started, and there's pictures of the arena almost empty because there's hardly anybody there because nobody's going to the games anymore. And then you have the ratings. The ratings are low because of this whole anthem protest. And here's the thing: if I was Roger Goodall, if I was him, I would be like, you either stand for the flag or you're going to get fired. Because there's a lot of football players out there. I mean, they can clean the house and they still can get more people in there to play football.
Mm-hmm.
So finding a football player would be no No hard task. No hard task. But
True.
Roger Goodall, he's a lefty too, and he's killing the NFL. He's killing it. I mean, by all means, the NFL needs to die anyway. And they're basically a monopoly league that won't allow other football leagues to join and all that crap. So the NFL needs to be wiped off the face of this earth.
Absolutely. And let's see. Speaking of Nike, I mean, they still have a deal with Serena Williams, who decided to make a fool of herself about 2 weeks ago.
She's been oppressed, Henry. She's a female. African. No, wait a minute. I can't say African American. It's a person of color. Serena Williams is a female person of color who is being oppressed, Henry. Shame on you for oppressing her.
Oh, yeah. She tried to claim, because I'm a woman. Oh, because I'm a woman. No. Well, okay. Serena, have you ever heard of John McEnroe? Have you ever heard of Jimmy Connors? You ever heard of Bjorn Borg? They didn't get away with yelling at umpires and all that.
Breaking the racket. She broke a whole bunch of rules, and she wants to cry about it.
And her coach was sitting there coaching her from the sidelines. He tried to claim, well, she didn't see him. But she contradicted that when she said, no, when he gives me the thumbs up, that's not him signaling me. So she just busted her coach right there.
Yep.
It has nothing to do, it's like Serena, it has nothing to do with your race, has nothing to do with your gender. It has to do with the fact that you're a sore loser and you were cheating, trying to cheat to win.
Yep.
And that umpire did the right thing. The umpire did not back down. He penalized her when she broke the racket. He penalized her for calling him a thief.
Oh my gosh! I don't even watch tennis, and jeez. You break the rules, of course you're going to get penalized.
But this is not the first time Serena's pulled some crap like this. I mean, she threatened to shove a tennis ball, down a line judge's throat in 2009.
Oh well. Since she's a repeat offender, I mean, it's no surprise to me.
Yeah. And then in 2013, she said another female line judge was a hater and she was unattractive inside.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
So she is. So she has a history. She has a history of doing this crap.
Yeah. She's, like you said, Henry. She's a sore loser, and if you're that so obsessed about a game, then you shouldn't be playing that game anymore.
Oh, and by the way, how can she claim racism when her opponent was half black and half Asian?
Exactly.
Naomi Osaka is half black, half Asian. Wow. So you can't have racism. That's not racism. I got news for you.
Could you imagine if the umpire was a black female and she did the exact same thing? I wonder if there would have been any controversy with that.
I don't know. But, I mean, the Tennis Association, they backed Serena Williams. That was what the screwed up part was.
Well, of course, because they're leftists. All those sports people are lefties. NFL, tennis, basketball, baseball. I think the only non-leftist people are like NASCAR, and I guess wrestling and the UFC are second and third.
Yeah. I mean, Carlos Ramos, he deserves a freaking medal for having to put up with that.
He needs to go into the tennis umpire Hall of Fame.
Yes, he does. And any of the umpires that had to deal with McEnroe and Jimmy Connors, yeah, they should go into the Umpire Hall of Fame too.
If there isn't a tennis umpire Hall of Fame, we got to create one and put those people in there.
Because man, you look at McEnroe, you look at the tempers he pitched back in the day. Wow.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he was not shy about
Yeah.
about telling umpires what he thought.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Let's see here. Let's get into the Catholic Church and that horrible, horrible, horrible stuff that's going on there. So and so what happened is that apparently there's a lot of priests that's been caught molesting boys, children,
Mm-hmm.
and
Yep.
it seems like the Pope is turning a blind eye to that. And this makes the Catholic Church a whole look bad. It makes the Vatican look bad. It makes everything look bad because of this.
Yep. It does.
Yeah, and this is
I mean,
nothing new either. I mean, this has been going on for quite some time.
yep, it has. I mean, but this Pope, I mean, he has not spoken out about it.
He actually, I think I heard that he actually condemned the priest that actually shed some light on that.
Yeah, that figures.
I mean, this pope needs to get. I don't know what they call it when you impeach a pope, but this pope needs to be impeached.
Yeah.
They need to get rid of this pope bad.
The Pope that I liked and that I knew of and was familiar with, even though I'm not Catholic, the Pope I really liked Pope John Paul II.
Oh, absolutely, he was a great pope, and none of this. I don't think he would have. Let this slide. Pope John
No,
Paul.
he would. No, he would not
He
have.
would not have
No,
let this. He would have done something about this. It seemed
he
like
was
after. It seemed
he
like
was a
after.
truly good man.
Mm-hmm.
He was a good man. Pope John Paul
Yeah,
II.
absolutely. It seemed like after he passed away and Pope Benedict took over, it seems like that's when the
Uh-huh.
whole escalation started. Was when Pope Benedict took over, and then it can just continue from there because you haven't heard. I don't think, and I'm not. I wasn't technically live during the Pope John Paul. I was, but I was young. But I don't think you've ever heard one bad word about any priests molesting kids under his watch. I don't think there was
Nope.
anything said or done.
And if it did happen, he condemned it. If it did happen,
Now let's hope he did. I mean,
oh, I'm pretty sure he did. I mean, he may not have done it publicly, but behind the scenes, I'm sure.
yeah,
So, but I mean, I'm disgusted with this Pope. Really, this
yeah,
Pope.
absolutely. I mean, he says that global warming is a big threat. All immigrants must there should be no more borders and all that. And while you have priests molesting kids around the corner, and you're not doing a damn thing about it. You too worried about global warming and borders. But when
Yep.
there's kids, you're not doing nothing about it. It's sick. It's disgusting, and it needs to stop. And like I said, it makes the whole Catholic community look bad. The Church, the Vatican, everything. It makes it look bad.
Yep. I mean, it does. It makes. Yeah, it does. It makes the Catholic Church. Uh, yeah, it does. I agree. And Pope John Paul must be rolling in his grave right about now.
Oh, I think he is. I think he. I think he's probably been rolled over ever since all this came out.
Hmm.
This
I
is
think so.
this is not what Pope John Paul intended, and we could be horribly wrong in this, but I don't think there's ever been any instance of people being molested under his watch. I don't think
Not,
that, and if it
not
was,
that.
maybe it didn't came out, maybe it wasn't publicly released, maybe it was dealt privately in a private manner, but there was, I don't think there was an instance of this.
I think if it did happen, he didn't know anything about it. They may have kept it from him.
Yeah, that could be one reason. That could be a good reason.
He may not have known anything about it. That would
Mm-hmm.
not surprise. That would not surprise me.
Yeah.
That would not have shocked me if he didn't know anything about it.
Mm-hmm.
So, but yeah, yeah. Even as a non-Catholic, I look at the Catholic faith. I mean, it's a good faith. I'm not saying it isn't,
Yeah.
but the leader,
And I want to go on record and say we're not bashing Catholics. We're not saying that all
no, not at
Catholics are
all.
pedophiles. We're saying it makes it look bad because nothing's been done to prevent this, to stop this. It makes it look
Yeah,
bad. And yeah, there's good Catholics there, and there's always going to be good Catholics there. There's going to be people there that is not a pedophile or anything like that. But
right.
those people right there needs to report this. Tell someone if they've seen or heard anything. Report it. Even though it's reporting that makes it look bad as well. If you don't report it, it makes it look bad. But go ahead, Henry.
Yeah, you're exactly correct on that. I mean, it needs to be reported. If it's not being reported, then who's going to know about it?
Mhm.
Nobody's going to know a thing about it. So, but no, I think that I think Pope John Paul II didn't know anything about it. If he did, he would have probably most likely roundly condemned it.
Mhm.
So, yeah. But anyway, the Catholic Church just they need to straighten themselves out. They really do. They just
Yeah.
need to.
Mhm.
Yeah. Well, we'll just see what happens.
Yeah, I mean that's all I can do is just see what's going on and see what happens.
Yep.
Let's see here. I'm trying to think what else happened and what else would be. Okay, Alex Jones. Let's get into some Alex Jones and Infowars
Oh yeah.
because this is big. This is huge because this can happen to us. This can happen to you. This can happen to me. This can happen to anyone. So Infowars has been permanently banned from Facebook, from Twitter, from YouTube, and from any other social media platform there is because he's insensitive and he's fake news. And it's like, okay, what kind of news has been faked? Whether you love the guy or hate the guy, I like Infowars. I think they're trustworthy enough, and I think they're honest enough, and I think they're more reliable than anything you see on CNN or MSNBC.
Yeah, I think so. It's just, I mean, the banning him is just the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, right now, this channel, what we're doing right now, we are part of the alternative media.
Exactly. I mean, yeah, they can ban us off the platform, which we do have a backup, which is BitChute.com. I'll post the link in the description so you can subscribe to that because BitChute is like YouTube, but
Uh
without the
huh.
censorship. Without the censorship.
There you go.
But yeah, I
Um,
mean, this is scary. This is some scary stuff
it
that
is.
the tech monopoly can ban someone because they don't like your view or opinion, and it's like a virtual book burning, so to
It
say.
is. Yeah. I mean, if they can ban, well, there have been conservatives that have been on YouTube that have had their channels demonetized.
Yeah, Mark Dice, Steven Crowder, is just to name a few.
Yeah, Paul Joseph Watson.
Paul Joseph Watson.
Yeah.
I'm sure there are countless others. And it's scary in the time that we live in. And here's the thing: the main reason why they're banning these people is because elections coming up, and they don't want other people to spout the news of their chosen candidates of the opposition on the other side, and they don't
Yeah.
want that. They want to control. The deep state doesn't want another Donald Trump happen.
Mm-hmm.
They don't want him. They don't want there to be another Donald Trump. So they're going to do all they can to ban people with different ideologies off of all these platforms. And it's going to get to the point that they're going to start scaring people away, and people's going to delete their Facebook, delete their Twitter, delete their YouTube, because it's going to get to the point that they're going to end up like MySpace. MySpace. What happened to MySpace? That's the point they're going to get. And I hope they get to that point. I hope there's going to be another Facebook out there, to create an open platform for people can share their thoughts and opinions. I mean, we got the alternative to Twitter, which is Gab, Gab.ai.
Yeah.
It's great. It's a great alternative to Twitter. We got Minds. That's a good Facebook alternative, I guess you can call it. And then we got BitChute. That's another a YouTube alternative, which is good. And then now that covers some of the stuff. But here's the thing: they're not as big as they can be because Facebook and Twitter and Google is suppressing all of this to keep themselves number one.
Well, you have the content. A lot of content creators, they're turning to Patreon. They're saying, I have a Patreon. You can contribute to, and so a lot of the time, they will do exclusive content from Patreon on Patreon. It's like I have a video. It's like yeah, I have videos over on Patreon. You can go check them out, but you have to pay to see them.
Yeah.
Yeah, but occasionally what will happen is these individuals will put their Patreon videos on YouTube for free.
Yeah. So basically what Patreon is, like Henry explained, is a subscription service that gives you access to early content of these creators. And then there's like a couple different levels. You can be a beginner, you can be a premium, you can be an ultra.
Mm-hmm.
And if you get subscribe to these Patreons and give them money, you get access to all the content plus more. And then some in a few days goes by, and then the people will upload it to YouTube for free, so other people can join it to enjoy it.
Yeah, exactly. But the thing is, I was watching, what was it? I think it was Styx Hexenhammer, and he was talking about how, well, he was talking about Alex Jones. He was talking about Alex Jones being deplatformed and everything, which that's what's happened to him. He's been deplatformed from all these different social media sites. The thing is, even if Alex Jones were just to open a website, or a content creator was to open up a website, let's say they have a website where they have a Patreon link or a PayPal link or whatever, who's to say that the left or somebody on the left wouldn't freeze their account, let's say like they freeze their credit card account, freeze their PayPal or Patreon or whatever.
I think I saw this, that InfoWars has already been banned by PayPal.
Well, there you go. See? So the thing is, how are they going to
Yep.
how
PayPal
are they going to make
InfoWars for promoting hate and intolerance.
And let's see, is it? I did. Yeah, iTunes, I believe, also dropped
Yeah,
Infowars.
yeah. They did the Infowars app. They dropped that.
Yeah, iTunes dropped. Yep. hmm So, how can content creators make money if, let's say, they're banned from these paying apps?
Hmm.
How are they going to get paid? See, they can't get paid if they're frozen out of PayPal, frozen out of Patreon or whatever.
Hmm.
I mean, they could try GoFundMe, but
Or
hmm.
Kickstarter, but
Yeah,
they're kind of left leaning too, and they can ban them.
yep,
So it's a damn if you do, any damn if you don't situation.
it is. It's just. I guess there are certain. I guess there are certain things that there may be. Probably what it is. There are certain trigger words. There are certain trigger phrases. I guess that these content
Yeah,
creators may use, and
yeah.
that's
It's
what.
it's the algorithms that these companies have been
Yes, that
programmed
too.
with.
Uh huh. Right. And what I find hilarious is these leftists who are saying, "Well, we need to change the algorithms on YouTube to where we won't have, videos of content we disagree with right beside videos of our videos or whatever." It's like, well, it doesn't work that way.
Yeah, no, it doesn't. And then plus, we have all these, leftists saying, "Oh, they're a corporation, they're a private company, they're a private entity. They can do ban and do whatever they want." No, they can't. No, they can't. No, they can't.
Nope.
Yeah, it's a public forum, which is
Yep.
why, YouTube and Twitter and Facebook and all of them needs to be regulated. They need to be
Yeah.
regulated as a public utility instead of a private corporation.
Well, Twitter has been shadow banning conservatives for quite a while now.
Oh yeah, and then basically what shadow banning is that you can tweet, but the people won't be able to, see or read your tweet if they're following you. You have to
hmm
go onto their account and to read their tweet. It won't show up in their timeline.
Yeah. See that's a major problem. I have been on Gab. I haven't gone on my account for quite a while. On
Hmm.
Gab, I do have one on Gab. I know that they are absolute free speech. I mean,
Yeah.
they don't ban anything.
Hmm. Yeah, I have a Gab too, and I have it as a backup in case Twitter boots me off. In case Twitter
Yeah,
booted me off, hasn't
but
happened yet, but it's still time.
yeah, but there's only one thing. Gab is having a hard time getting any kind of mainstream exposure.
Hmm.
For those who don't know what Gab is, I mean, they're be like, well, if let's say you've been banned from Twitter and you don't know about Gab.
Hmm.
Um, it seems like information about Gab is being suppressed.
Yeah, I think it is, and I think it's probably the whole algorithm thing, and they programmed for Gab not to be in the algorithm in the search
Exactly.
box in the search terms.
Yep. Yep. Very true.
Let's see here. I think we discussed everything at the national level, the U.S.
Yeah.
level. You got any
Yes.
local news for us?
Matter of fact, yes, I do. Let's see. I can get the story to come up, but it shouldn't be too long. This is interesting. Vermont inmates are headed to our state. Like, wow, Vermont.
Yeah.
They probably have a prison overcrowding issue up there.
Well, that's the Bernie Sanders socialism.
Yeah, there you go. Prisoners from Vermont will be transferred to Mississippi next month. CoreCivic Incorporated announced that it has entered into a new contract with the Vermont Department of Corrections to house up to 350 of the state's inmates at the company's 2,672-bed Tallahatchie County Correctional Facility in Tutwiler, Mississippi. The new management contract begins on October 1st, has an additional term of 2 years with one additional 2-year extension option. We are pleased to work closely with the Vermont Department of Corrections once again, said Damon Hinninger, CoreCivic's president and chief executive officer. We strive to provide flexible solutions to our government partners and believe the Tallahatchie County Correctional Facility is well suited to meet the needs of Vermont's inmate populations. Based on the company's expectations of contract utilization, they expect it to generate approximately $6.5 million of annual revenue. In June, an agreement between the U.S. Marshals and CoreCivic sent up to 1,350 inmates to the Tallahatchie facility. So, and also another news item, another local news item, Mississippi is going to be getting a lottery finally. The Mississippi legislature finally voted to give us a lottery here in the state. So hopefully I don't know if the governor signed it already or if he's going to sign it. But we're going to join some of these other states that have a lottery.
No, that's cool.
Before too long. I mean, some of our surrounding states have lottery. I think Louisiana has. I believe Arkansas has it. Tennessee. Mm-hmm. And what people would do is, people here in Mississippi, they would drive to Memphis or drive to Arkansas or Louisiana and buy lottery tickets.
Yeah, we have the lottery too. We got lottery. But,
so so we're getting the lottery.
You better stock up on your lottery tickets, Henry.
I know, yeah. I mean, you can buy $20 worth of lottery tickets rather than going and wasting your money at the casino. We still have the casinos going also. We've had casinos for quite a while. We've got several down here in Greenville, Mississippi. Go up to Robinsonville, Mississippi, which is about 30 miles south of Memphis. Mm-hmm. Bunch of casinos up there. But yeah, I mean, that's pretty exciting. That happened about 2 or 3 weeks ago when the legislature voted on that. So that's pretty exciting that we're getting a lottery. And the main usage of the money is going to be for infrastructure.
Oh, that's great.
Here in the state.
That's fantastic.
And we talked about infrastructure on this show, matter of fact.
Yeah.
You know, I've mentioned about local infrastructure, also national infrastructure. Mm-hmm. So there you go. All right, Shane, I'm gonna turn it over to you. See if you got anything.
Yeah, I got one thing. This is kind of a not only for West Virginia, but for across the nation, because there is a crisis. Opioid crisis seminar comes to White Sulphur Springs. So the city of White Sulphur Springs is teaming up with Emmanuel United Methodist Church to address the opioid crisis coming up on Saturday, September 22nd of 2018. That's tomorrow. They will host a seminar to help the community find ways to respond to the threat of opioids. The event will take place from 8:30 a.m. to 11 a.m. The keynote speaker is Dr. Barry Ball, who was with the Drug Enforcement Administration in Maryland, where he worked on a large drug cases. During the time he learned about the plight of drug-endangered children. The event takes place at the Emmanuel United Methodist Church. Organizers said this would give those who have loved ones and who are addicted to the insight, and an insight into how addiction develops and ways to recognize and deal with it. The other story I've got happened a couple of days ago. We're wrestling fans, yeah, Henry. So we had a wrestler come down by the name of, you remember him, Mark Marrow. Mark Marrow, Johnny B. Bad.
Yeah.
Mark Marrow actually came to our local armory, Brushfork Armory, where he talked to the local school kids. I think like the local school kids from the Mercer County came and saw him at the Brushfork Armory. And from my understanding is that he talked about, bullying, drugs, and stuff that he does. He goes around and talks. He's a motivational speaker. and he goes around and talks to these churches and schools about drugs and bullying and stuff. So I figure I'll throw that in there. Mark Merrow came by. I didn't see him. I didn't get to see him though. Wish I had.
Well, that's a really great thing that he's doing. That he's kind of giving back, as it were.
Yeah, and I think was he a drug addict a long time ago, and then he may have been. I don't want to
He
say.
may
I don't
have.
want to say he
I don't
was.
know. I don't know.
I wouldn't be surprised if, let's just say, I wouldn't be surprised if he was formerly addicted to
No, I know
narcotics.
his background was he was actually in boxing before he got into
Yeah,
wrestling. He was in boxing. I do
yeah,
know that much. And but I mean, I don't want to assume either. So
yeah.
he is. I mean, he played a character as Johnny B. Bad. Yeah, he was supposed to be
Yeah.
like Little Richard, and then he goes to WWF, becomes Mark Marrow, basically
With
becomes
Sable, who
yeah,
is
yeah,
now Brock
Sable.
Lesnar's wife.
Yeah,
Shocking.
yep, yep, that's right. She's married to Brock. uh So, but I mean, it's just great when wrestlers actually do
Mhm.
something positive like that.
Yeah. He spoke to the kids one night, and then the other night he spoke to the community as a whole.
Hmm.
So I thought that was great for him to come in. Hopefully he'll be back, and I'll get to see him and take a picture with him and let him sign some stuff. Be like,
Yep.
hey, you got any photos of Sable? You give it to me. They're in good hands. I won't share them with nobody. Oh man, we got some breaking news. Trump has actually done a rally. He did a rally last night in Las Vegas. He's doing another one tonight in Missouri. And Trump says that he will get rid of the lingering stench at the Department of Justice.
Oh,
So I wonder what that's all about. I'm excited to see. I'm excited to see.
yeah. That's gonna be interesting to see what happens. Let's see. But yeah, I mean, hey, listen. He's making America great again.
Mhm.
So, I mean, despite what the left is trying to do to him.
And also, there was a rally between not a rally, but a debate between Ted Cruz and Beto O'Rourke
Hmm.
tonight, and I'm going to have to check in on that and watch some clips of that, and we can talk about it next week.
Well, I mean, Ted Cruz is, he's running for re-election as senator
Yeah,
down in Texas. So hopefully he'll
uh,
win. Yeah.
I don't see the scenario of him not winning. I'm
Right.
not a
Yeah.
I'm not a big Ted Cruz fan. I wasn't really a fan of him in the presidential election, but we need the numbers. We need the numbers to vote Ted Cruz.
We do. We need these because without the numbers, I mean, there's a good possibility without the numbers
Yeah,
we could have. The House could be full of Democrats, the Senate could be full of Democrats, and they
yeah,
could proceed with impeachment.
yeah. And these
Trying to.
these are not the same Democrats of the olden days. These are
No.
these are completely different Democrats. I mean, I don't know what happened to the Democratic Party. I don't know. I mean, they're not even the blue collar people anymore, or the white collar people anymore. They're no longer the party of that. They're no longer the party of that.
Yeah.
But I think that's pretty much it. I think we discussed everything. We'll probably follow up with some of the stuff that happened tonight, next week. Um, let's see. I think. Wait a minute. We might have some news before we go off. Nothing big. Nothing big. Nothing big. If there is anything big, we'll post it on our Facebook page. The link to Twitter and Gab and all that, all those links is down in the description below. I'm going to post in the description the link to all the endorsements. That's MAGA endorsed by us and by Trump. There is an asterisk to the people on that list that's also endorsed by Trump. So take a look at that. Share that with your friends, your family, everybody. So I think that's going to do it for us tonight. If you can't wait until next week, me and Henry is going to delve deep into the episode of Better Call Saul. Something Stupid, episode 7, because there's 3 more episodes left. Episode 7, Something Stupid. Really interesting episode. You can hear our thoughts on that tomorrow night on a different channel, the Breaking Bad Cast channel.
And 8 p.m. next Wednesday.
Yes, next Wednesday.
Next Wednesday, Real or Not Real is back.
The next Wednesday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, is Real or Not Real on the Looking for Bigfoot channel. And we're going to look at some Bigfoot videos. We're going to discuss, look at some UFOs, anything that's paranormal related. We're going to take a look at those videos and photos.
Very cool.
Yeah, and that's yeah. So yeah, we're back. We're back for now. We're back for now until we take a little hiatus again. I'm thinking about doing like maybe up until November, like the week before Thanksgiving, and then take a hiatus through Thanksgiving up until New Year's.
Sounds good.
That'll be winter. So we'll be back on regular schedule up until Thanksgiving, the week before Thanksgiving, with Not Mainstream and the Saul Goodcast leading into the Webcasting Dead. Is Walking Dead's returning October 7th, and we'll be talking about that. And leading into Real or Not Real. So on that note, good night, everybody. See you here for the next Not Mainstream next week, Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 7 Central, 6 Mountain, 5 Pacific. Good night, everybody.
Yep.